How's it going, bass players? Today we're going to be looking at the use of different bass notes over a chord. A basic chord or triad is made up of 3 notes, a 1, 3, and a 5. If we were to be looking at a D major chord, the 1 or the root would be a D, the 3 would be an F sharp, and the 5 would be an A. A chord inversion is when the lowest note of a chord is not the root note. So for a D major chord, it would not be the D note. A first inversion would have the 3rd be the lowest note, and a second inversion would have the 5th be the lowest note. These inversion chords are often written with the root coming after the chord, like D over F sharp or D over A. If you ever see these chords written out, you should always be playing the second note. There are times that these inversions are not written in, but as a bass player you can add them. We're going to be looking at some that I use today. So today we're going to be playing over a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression in the key of G. So that'll be G major, D, E minor, and C major. So the first time through we play this chord progression, I'm just going to be playing the root notes so you can hear what it sounds like. So now we're going to be introducing some inversions over this chord progression. So we're going to be starting on the G, and as a rule of thumb, you really don't want to use an inversion over the root chord. So we're going to be playing your G, then over the D chord, or the D major chord, we're going to be using a first inversion and playing the F sharp. Then we're going to be going and leaving the E minor the same. So this gives a nice walk down feel to that E minor. Next, we're going to be playing your C chord, and then halfway through, right before we go back to the root, you're going to be playing an F sharp over that C. And then you're going to be resolving on your G. So this is what that will sound like. And here's another example of what inversions you could use. We're going to be starting with a G, then we're going to be playing your normal D chord, but then over the E minor chord, we're going to be starting on a high G. So this is the first inversion of that E minor chord. And you're going to be walking down from that G all the way to your C. So in that key it will be G, F sharp, E, D, C. And then we're going to be going back up to the D before we resolve on the G. Here's what that will sound like. And lastly, I'll just be playing both of those chord progressions that we just went through, one after another. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and are able to incorporate some of these chord inversions in your bass playing. If you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe.